All right, so are you ready to dive into something pretty cool today?
Always. Hit me with it.
Well, we're looking into Alibaba's brand new AI model.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Qwen 2.5-Max.
Interesting.
And you've probably heard of like GPT 4.0 and Claude 3.5 out there.
Yeah.
Well, this is meant to go head to head with those
Wow.
big names, and it uses some really clever tech to do it.
I'm intrigued.
So we're going to break down like how it works and how it stacks up against the competition. And the
Okay.
best part is we're going to talk about how you can try it out.
Awesome. I mean, the fascinating thing here is that this is Alibaba we're talking about.
Right.
Like the e-commerce giant.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're really making a serious play in the AI space.
Yeah.
And Qwen 2.5-Max is their most powerful general AI model yet.
Okay.
And it's aiming to tackle a wide range of tasks, just like those big names you mentioned.
And this one isn't open source like some of the earlier versions of Qwen.
Right.
So no peeking under the hood to see all the code?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a bit like a closely guarded secret recipe.
Ah.
And to be honest, this is pretty common with these top-tier models.
Uh-huh.
Companies want to protect their intellectual property.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But so does that mean it's a black box? Like we just have to trust it knows what it's doing?
Well, it's not a reasoning model like some others out there.
Okay.
So it gives you the answer,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't lay out its thought process step by step.
Interesting. So it's powerful, but we don't necessarily see how it gets there.
Right.
Okay, I'm even more curious about how it works now.
Yeah, this is where it gets really cool.
Okay.
Qwen 2.5-Max uses what's called a mixture of experts architecture,
Okay.
or MOE for short.
Moe, all right, lay that on me.
Okay, so think of it like a hospital, right?
Okay.
You've got all these different specialists,
Uh-huh.
cardiologists, neurologists, surgeons.
Mm.
You wouldn't go to a foot doctor for a heart problem.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in Qwen 2.5-Max, only the relevant experts activate for a given task.
Mm.
Ask it to write a poem. The poetry experts jump in.
Okay.
Ask it to translate something. The language experts take over.
Oh.
And this makes it incredibly efficient because it's not wasting energy activating everything for every single task.
So it's like having a brain trust on call, but only the specialists needed for the job actually clock in.
Yeah,
Clever.
that's exactly what allows it to go toe-to-toe with those massive models
Uh-huh.
like GPT 4.0 and Claude 3.5, where every single part is always running.
Right.
It's a real David versus Goliath situation.
Yeah.
But David came prepared.
All right, so that's the architecture.
Yeah.
But what about the stuff that it learns from?
Well, hold on to your hat because this is another impressive feat.
Okay.
Qwen 2.5-Max was trained on a dataset of 20 trillion tokens.
Whoa.
To put that into perspective, it's like the model has devoured 168 million copies of 1984.
Okay, that's an insane amount of data.
Yeah.
So it's like reading every book in a massive library
Yeah.
multiple times over.
You got it.
But stuffing it with data isn't enough, right?
Right.
It needs to actually understand and apply what it's learned.
Exactly.
It's like force-feeding someone information. Does it really get it?
That's where the fine-tuning comes in. Think of it like polishing a rough gem.
So we're refining its skills.
Precisely.
Okay.
They use two key techniques. First, supervised fine-tuning, or SFT,
Okay.
where humans provide top-notch examples of responses, guiding the model towards more accurate and helpful answers.
So it's like having expert tutors coaching it along.
Exactly.
So-
Then there's reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF.
Okay.
This is where it gets even more interesting.
Right?
It learns to give answers that sound more natural and align with what people actually prefer.
So it's not just about being technically right, but also about sounding human and relatable.
You nailed it.
Right.
And this combination of a massive knowledge base with human-like communication is what makes Qwen 2.5-Max such a compelling contender in the AI landscape.
All right, so we've got this powerful model trained on a mountain of data, and it's learned to sound more human. But how does it actually perform?
Right.
How does it stack up against those AI giants?
That's where the benchmarking comes in.
Okay.
And here's the key. We're looking at two different categories: instruct models and base models.
Hold on, break that down for me. What's the difference?
Okay, so think of the base model as a talented but untrained artist.
Okay.
They've got all this raw potential,
Mm-hmm.
but no specific skills.
Okay.
Fine-tuning is like giving them specialized lessons,
Okay.
turning them into a master painter or a skilled sculptor.
Gotcha.
So instruct models are those that are fine-tuned for specific tasks, like having conversation or writing code.
Okay.
Base models are that raw foundation before the specialized training.
Okay, that makes it much clearer. So 2 different sets of tests to see how Qwen 2.5-Max performs in different scenarios.
Yeah.
Let's start with the instruct models.
Okay.
How'd it do?
It crushed it
Really?
on the Arena Hard benchmark, which measures how well a model aligns with human preferences.
Okay.
Qwen 2.5-Max took the top spot, beating out DeepSeek V3 and Claude 3.5 Sonnet.
Wow, right out of the gate. What about other tests?
Yeah, so it aced other tests like MMU Pro,
Okay.
which measures knowledge and reasoning, and LifeBench,
Okay.
which looks at overall real-world performance.
Gotcha.
It scored higher than both DeepSeek V3 and Claude 3.5 Sonnet again.
So consistently outscoring some major players.
Yeah.
But are there any areas where it falls short?
Well, on the GPQA Diamond benchmark,
Okay.
focused on general knowledge Q&A, it scores well, but Claude 3.5 Sonnet takes the lead there.
Okay.
And on coding tests, it's good, but not quite as strong as some others.
So no universal champion,
Right.
but definitely a serious contender.
Exactly. But remember, these are just the instruct model benchmarks.
Right.
We still need to look at how that raw, untrained base model performs.
Right, that foundation before any specialized training.
Yeah.
What do those benchmarks tell us?
Well, we have to be a bit careful here because GPT-4o and Claude 3.5 don't have publicly available base models.
Right.
So we can only compare it to other open-weight models.
Makes sense.
But even with that limitation, the results are pretty impressive.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me the highlights.
Okay, so Qwen 2.5-Max consistently beats out DeepSeek V3 and Llama in benchmarks that measure general knowledge, language, understanding, coding, and problem solving.
So even at its core,
Yeah.
it's showing a lot of promise.
Right.
Any surprises in the base model tests?
One thing that stood out was its performance on math problems.
Really?
On the GSMAK benchmark, which uses simpler math problems, it blew the competition out of the water.
So it's a math whiz.
Yeah.
What about the harder stuff?
On a tougher benchmark called math, it does well but has room to grow. But hey, even seasoned mathematicians struggle with some of those problems. So it's not surprising.
True enough. Okay, so we've covered what Qwen 2.5-Max is, how it works,
Yeah.
and how it stacks up against the competition. But frankly, all this talk makes me want to try it out myself.
Of course.
Is that even possible?
Absolutely. And there are 2 main ways to do it.
All right, walk me through it. What's the easiest way for someone like me,
Okay.
not a hardcore developer, to get started?
The easiest way is through Qwen Chat.
Okay.
It's a website where you can chat with the model directly,
Uh,
just like you would with ChatGPT.
gotcha.
You select Qwen 2.5-Max from the model dropdown, and you're good to go.
That sounds simple enough. What about for the more technical folks out there?
For developers who want to integrate it into their own projects,
Yeah.
Alibaba offers access through their Alibaba Cloud API.
Okay.
It does require an account and an API key, but if you're familiar with how OpenAI models work, it's designed to be pretty user-friendly.
Okay, so there are options for both casual users and serious developers. I'm definitely adding play with Qwen 2.5-Max to my to-do list.
Good.
But before we wrap up this part of a deep dive,
Okay.
what does all this mean for the future? Where does Alibaba go from here?
Well, it's clear they're not content with just being an e-commerce giant.
Right.
They're investing heavily in AI and
Yeah.
aiming to be a major player in this world.
And judging by what we've seen with Qwen 2.5-Max, they're well on their way.
They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe the next big thing will be a Qwen model specifically designed for reasoning. Maybe even Qwen 3.0. The possibilities are exciting.
This is definitely a space to watch closely. All right, folks, stay tuned because we'll be right back to continue our deep dive into Qwen 2.5-Max. We're back, and before the break, we were getting into the nitty-gritty of Qwen 2.5-Max.
With all the details. Like,
The architecture and the crazy amount of data it's trained on,
yeah.
how it stacks up against those other big AI models, and even how you can actually try it out yourself.
Yeah, through those tools we discussed.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check those out later.
Cool.
But it's got me thinking about the bigger picture here. What are the implications of having this kind of technology so readily available?
You're hitting on a really important point. It's easy to get lost in all those technical details.
Yeah.
But the real impact of AI is going to be how it changes the way we live and work and interact with the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So zooming out a bit, what's the potential of advanced AI, like Qwen 2.5-Max?
One thing that comes to mind is like the democratization of knowledge and tools.
Okay.
Imagine a world where anyone, anywhere with an internet connection
Yeah.
can tap into the power of AI.
Yeah.
They could generate high-quality text, translate languages, write different kinds of creative content,
Oh, wow.
even get answers to really complex questions.
It's almost like having a personal research assistant or a creative partner and a knowledgeable tutor all rolled into one.
It really is.
That's pretty incredible.
Right. It has the potential to like completely revolutionize how we approach education research. And even creative fields. Think about students getting personalized help with their studies, researchers being able to analyze mountains of data more efficiently, or like writers, breaking through writer's block with AI-generated suggestions.
It's like we're leveling the playing field, giving everyone access to tools that were once only available to a select few.
Exactly.
But with all this potential, I imagine there are also some concerns as well.
Of course. No technological advancement comes without its challenges.
True.
One of the big ones with AI is the potential for job displacement.
Okay.
As these AI systems become more and more capable, they can start automating tasks that humans currently do, leading to job losses in certain sectors.
That's a valid concern. I
Yeah.
mean, we see it happen with almost every major technological shift.
Right.
So what can we do to address that?
Well, I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool.
Okay.
Like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Right.
So it's up to us as a society to make sure that AI is developed and used responsibly.
Right.
It should be about creating new opportunities and improving lives, not just replacing jobs.
So it's not just about the technology itself,
Yeah,
but how we choose to use it.
exactly. We need to find ways to harness the power of AI while also investing in education and training
Okay.
so that people have the skills they need to thrive in this evolving job market.
Makes sense. It's about adapting and evolving alongside these advancements.
Great.
Are there any other potential downsides to be aware of?
There are a few. One that we should definitely keep in mind is security.
Okay.
As AI becomes more and more sophisticated, it could become a target for malicious actors.
Oh, right. So people could try to use AI for harmful purposes.
Exactly. Think about things like creating deepfakes that are indistinguishable from real videos, or generating spam and phishing attacks that are incredibly convincing.
Yeah, it seems like there are a lot of ethical considerations that come with this level of AI development.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so crucial to have open and honest conversations about the potential risks as well as the benefits.
Yeah.
We need to establish ethical guidelines for AI development
Huh?
and make sure that those guidelines are enforced.
Yeah.
It's not just about what we can do with AI, but what we should do.
Right. It needs to be developed and deployed responsibly.
Yeah.
We need to make sure it's used for good and not for harm.
Uh-huh.
But let's shift gears a bit. What are some of the more unexpected or surprising ways that Qwen 2.5-Max could impact the world?
One area I find really fascinating is the potential for AI to supercharge creativity and innovation.
Okay.
We often think of creativity as this like uniquely human trait,
Yeah.
but AI is starting to challenge that notion.
I've seen some of those AI-generated art pieces. They're pretty mind-blowing.
Right, and Qwen 2.5-Max's ability to generate text, translate languages, and understand complex concepts could be a game changer for artists, writers, musicians, and other creative professionals.
I can definitely see how AI could help overcome creative blocks or just offer fresh perspectives. It's
Yeah.
like having a brainstorming partner who can come up with wild ideas you never would have thought of on your own.
Exactly. And it's not just about generating new ideas.
Okay.
AI can help us explore different creative styles,
Yeah.
experiment with new forms of expression,
Yeah.
even create entirely new genres of art and literature.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like AI is expanding the very definition of what's possible creatively.
It really is.
But on a more practical level, how do you see Qwen 2.5-Max impacting everyday life for the average person?
Well, think about all the tasks we do daily that involve language,
Okay.
like writing emails, composing social media posts, summarizing documents, translating text, researching information, even just having a conversation.
Right.
Qwen 2.5-Max has the potential to make all of these things easier, faster, and more efficient.
So it's like having a personal assistant that can handle all of our language-based tasks.
Exactly. Imagine dictating an email and having Qwen 2.5-Max compose a perfectly polished message,
Okay.
or asking it to summarize a long news article so you can quickly get the key points.
That would be a huge time saver. But what about those of us who aren't exactly tech savvy?
Right.
Will we be able to keep up with all these advancements?
That's a valid concern. But the beauty of it is that AI is becoming more and more user-friendly.
Okay.
Tools like Qwen Chat are designed to be accessible to everyone, regardless of their technical skills.
So you don't need to be a programmer or an AI expert to benefit from these advancements?
Not at all. Just like you don't need to understand how a car engine works to drive a car. You don't need to be an AI whiz to use AI-powered tools.
That's reassuring. It seems like AI is becoming more and more integrated into our daily lives.
It really is.
But let's bring it back to Alibaba for a moment. We
Okay.
talked about the potential impact of Qwen 2.5-Max on the world. But what about the impact on Alibaba itself? How does this fit into their overall strategy?
It's clear they see AI as a key driver of future growth.
Okay.
They're not just developing these models, they're integrating AI into their existing products and services. Everything from e-commerce to cloud computing.
So they're not just betting on AI as a standalone technology.
Right.
They're weaving it into the very fabric of their business.
Exactly. It's a smart move. By embedding AI into their existing platforms, they can leverage their massive user base and data resources to train and refine their models.
Right.
It creates a really powerful feedback loop that drives innovation.
It's like they're building an AI-powered ecosystem
Yeah.
that spans multiple industries and impacts billions of people. Pretty bold vision.
It is.
But how does this play out in the competitive landscape? We've talked about how Qwen 2.5-Max compares to other models, but what about the bigger picture? How does Alibaba stack up against giants like Google and Microsoft in the AI arena?
It's a battle that's still unfolding.
Okay.
While Google and Microsoft have a head start in some areas, Alibaba is catching up fast. They have the resources, the talent, and the ambition to be a major force in the AI world.
It sounds like the race to develop and deploy advanced AI is heating up.
It is.
What will determine who comes out on top?
Well, I think several factors are going to come into play.
Okay.
Access to data is a big one. AI models need massive amounts of data to train on. And companies with access to those vast data sets are going to have a significant advantage.
And Alibaba, with its massive e-commerce platform and cloud computing business,
Right.
certainly has a lot of data at its disposal.
You got it. Another factor is talent. Attracting and keeping top AI researchers and engineers is crucial for any company that wants to stay ahead of the curve.
And Alibaba has a reputation for investing heavily in research and development.
Yeah,
So I imagine they're going to be pretty aggressive in recruiting top talent.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And lastly, there's the question of strategy.
Yeah.
Companies need to have a clear vision for how they plan to leverage AI
Okay.
to provide value for their customers and to stand out in the marketplace.
So it's not just about building the most advanced AI.
Right.
It's about having a smart plan for using those models
Yeah,
to solve real-world problems and meet users' needs.
exactly. And this is where Alibaba's deep understanding of e-commerce, logistics, and cloud computing could give them an edge.
Okay.
They're in a position to create AI-powered solutions that are tailored to the specific needs of businesses and consumers in a way that other companies might not be able to match.
It's like they're playing to their strengths, leveraging their existing expertise to really get a foothold in the AI market. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's bring it back to Qwen 2.5-Max.
Okay.
We've covered a lot, but is there anything else you think our listeners should know about this model?
I think it's worth highlighting the sheer speed and scale at which Alibaba is developing and deploying AI.
Okay.
Qwen 2.5-Max is a testament to their commitment to innovation
Yeah.
and their ability to just push the boundaries of what's possible.
So they're not just dipping their toes in the water, they're diving in head first.
Exactly. And this pace of development isn't slowing down. We can expect to see even more advanced AI models from Alibaba in the near future. Models that could further blur the line between human and machine intelligence.
This is definitely a space to watch closely. All right, folks, we're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back to wrap up our deep dive into Qwen 2.5-Max and leave you with some final thoughts to ponder. Stay with us. Welcome back to our deep dive into Qwen 2.5-Max.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating discussion.
It really has. We've talked about how it works, how it measures up against other big AI models out there,
Right.
even how you can try it out yourself.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with something to really think about.
Okay, shoot.
So we've seen that Alibaba is moving incredibly fast in the AI space, developing this cutting-edge tech,
Yeah.
integrating it into their platforms,
Right.
and they're clearly aiming to be a major player on on the global stage.
For sure.
So here's the big question.
Okay.
If they keep up this pace,
Yeah.
how might it reshape the whole global landscape of AI?
That's a really interesting question to consider. I think right now a lot of the conversation around AI is dominated by US-based companies.
Right.
But Alibaba's rise could signal a real shift in that balance of power.
So it's not just about technological innovation.
Yeah.
It's about global influence
Oh.
and who controls access to these powerful tools.
Exactly. If Alibaba keeps on this trajectory, they could really challenge the dominance of those US-based companies.
Uh-huh.
And this could lead to a more multipolar world where different countries and regions have a greater say in how AI is developed and used.
And that could have ripple effects across a ton of industries.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Think about the potential impact on everything from e-commerce and finance to healthcare and education.
Yeah.
A more diverse AI landscape could lead to more innovation, more competition, and ultimately more choices for everyone.
More players at the table could lead to more diverse applications and innovations.
Yeah.
But couldn't it also lead to more tension and competition between different nations?
That's definitely a possibility. As AI becomes more powerful and more ingrained in our lives, it's likely to become a focal point of geopolitical competition.
We're already seeing hints of that with the race to develop AI for military and intelligence purposes.
Exactly. So the development of AI isn't just a technological race.
Yeah.
It's a geopolitical one as well.
And the stakes are high?
Very high. The countries and companies that control AI are going to have a significant advantage in the 21st century.
Right. They'll be able to shape the global economy, influence political discourse, even play a role in determining the course of future conflicts.
It's true.
It's a lot to consider.
It is.
But let's bring it back to a more personal level for a second.
Okay.
What does all of this mean for the person listening right now?
Here's the thing. AI isn't some futuristic concept from sci-fi movies anymore.
Yeah.
It's here.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
And it's already changing the world around us. Whether we realize it or not, AI is already impacting our lives.
It's like it's working behind the scenes even if we're not actively engaging with it.
Exactly. And as AI keeps evolving, that impact is only going to grow. So that's why it's so important to stay informed, understand both the benefits and the risks, and really participate in the conversation about how we want this technology to shape our future.
It's not about passively accepting whatever comes our way.
Right.
It's about actively shaping the role that AI plays in our lives and in society.
Couldn't have said it better on myself. And it starts with curiosity, a willingness to learn and explore. So to the person listening right now, I encourage you to check out Qwen Chat experiment with Qwen 2.5-Max and see what this technology can do.
Don't be intimidated by AI. Embrace it. The more we understand it, the better equipped we'll be to navigate the future AI is creating. And who knows, maybe you, our listener, will be the next AI innovator developing the next breakthrough that pushes the boundaries of what's possible.
It's an exciting time to be alive, that's for sure.
It really is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Qwen 2.5-Max. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.